Hello YouTube, it's me Goji King, and today we'll be back on doing a part 2 of this review of the live action How to Train Your Dragon toy line. As you can see here, I got my hands on the hideous zippleback with some of the dragons from the final battle set. And I know the deadly natter's in it, but I'm not going to do a review of it since, well, I already done it. The difference is it has ball jointed wings this time. So without further ado, we'll get to the review. So let's go for the zippleback first since it's easier that way. So I'm just going to move these dragons off. Sorry, Toothless. Okay, let's see here. All right, this here is the hideous zippleback. This figure you can find at Walmart as an exclusive for $20. And it will also come with the riders of Snotloud and... Wait, no. Come with the riders of Rough and Tough Nut. Basically the twins. And the mold of the dragon is pretty good, you know? Like, and such, you know? But however, I am kind of bummed on this figure-wise for reasons which I'll explain a bit. But before we do, let's get to the details and such, okay? Let's go for this side, for example, since it's practically the same on the other except for a different position. You can see that there's some good details on it, like some details on the horn stuff, like when I first and such. Which you can see some simple, like, snake underbelly, under neck and such. Then for the rest of the body-wise, it's just this unique tail and such. Oh, there's the dragon insignia that this toy line is from. Right there. And I'm not sure if it's correct, but I don't think the tail ends that far. Maybe they did just for the toy-wise, you know? And actually, I want to bring this up too, is one thing I find interesting is when you look at the dragon's paws, it looks like your basic one. When you turn over it, it has like almost like dog pads of sort, like almost like feline, you know? Which I thought was a pretty cool detail, you know? And such. And one thing I find interesting is when I first saw the teeth, I thought they'd be like painted on it, you know? But instead, they're molded differently to give out that little vibe and such, you know? Of course, detailed saddles, which you're going to see a lot from these dragons. And as for paint, that is one of my concerns. That's my main disappointment come from, is the paint. I mean, yes, the dragon ain't colorful, but then again, that's what the Ziplock's known for. It has like this cool greenish darker spots over its body, which they kind of replaced it with this type of paint mixed with it. I call this the Mattel technique, since I've seen that method a lot when it comes to their Jurassic World toy lines from Mattel, which I might do a review if I feel like I'm in the mood for it. The dominant paint you'll be seeing is tan, red, I think that's supposed to be orange, and some type of red of sort. As for that, you get the tan colors you'll definitely be seeing is on the horns, teeth, and the underbelly. As for the red spikes, it kind of starts from here and ends on the base of the tail. It just stops right there. No paint to the rest, nor on these things, which is kind of a bummer and such. But I feel like they could have at least done more with it. At least paint the tail to the edge or something, you know. But it's just me. As for articulation, the dragon's necks are on the ball joints. So you can make them like spin around, such, move up, move down. Not. You can definitely move around, but it's kind of hard doing it with one arm. I definitely need to get my hands on that camera stand soon. Yeah, no, yeah, this one's a better example. The wings are on a ball joint like always, so you can make them fold in, out, spin them side to side. Tail is nothing on the tail. As for arms and legs, just your basic front and back for front and back of the legs. Yeah, that's this part for the zippleback, and I would say I love the figure of it. I really do. I just wish there's a bit more paint on the figure, you know? But that just probably would be me asking, you know? Alright, let's move on to the next one. And like I said about that zippleback, that one's the Walmart exclusive, so let's get on to the Target exclusive, which is the final battle set. And we're starting off with is the Gronko, or meat lug. People know what this dragon's for. And from what I hear of, this dragon's design is arguably the most controversial one, which I can see why. Like, it doesn't look like a Gronko that we all grew up and love from the animated movies, shows, and probably some games and such. But when I play the Roblox games, the Gronko looks pretty cute. And when I watched the movie of it, which is still good, I thought the Guanco design was pretty alright. I mean, I did wish that the colors were a bit more accurate to we see, but it's fine, you know. As for the toy itself, it's pretty good. And for details, there's a lot going on with this dragon. You can see some like these bumpy grooves slash osteoderms all over its body to give off what is classified as a Guanco. It still have the stubby mace-like tail appendage. The wings are tiny, but you can still see like the membrane finger bones between each one, which is pretty cool. Underneath it, that's where you see the dragon insignia, detailed saddles and stuff. The face, I find it cute. It's like a little pug and such, which I don't really mind. The eyes are done pretty good too and such. And let's get to the paint. Like with the zippleback, there's not much going on with this dragon, which is accurate to how it appears in the movie since there's not that much colors it had. But for the dragon's eyes, they're done pretty well for it, you know? And especially, like, the whole gist of it's pretty good. I like it. As for articulation, it has a head one, so you can swivel side to side or go all the way around, but I'm not gonna bother doing it since, you know, the wings are on a ball joint, so you can make them flap, and that. And it's interesting because you can make him fold his wings out almost like a beetle in a way, you know. Articulation for arms and legs as well. It's kind of harder on this one since it's the way it's molded. Yeah, there we go. So that is the Guanco. Good paint details and as well as articulation. Basic ones, but good for this type of dragon, you know. And I like it. All right. Next one is the biggest one in the set, and unfortunately the only method to get this at the moment is the Monstrous Nightmare. This figure might be the biggest one in the set besides the hideous zippleback or the Red Death, which I might get my hands on that soon. Is this one. This one's pretty big, and this one is only accessible in the Target exclusive Final Battle set, which I'm kind of bummed that's the only way of us getting it, but I'm sure they're gonna release it like separately for us, you know. But for details, the dragon, it's pretty good. You can see some scales and such all over its body and whatnot. And of course, these interesting type of scoots all over its body into here. One thing, kind of weird, interesting thing they did in the movie was they added these instead of like these larger fin scoots that we kind of known from the love. And this would continue to the here. Then we get to see a more of a fantail, which I'm not really a huge fan of for its design, but I'm sure it's gonna look a lot better if we like see more better figures and such, you know. For feet wise, I'm gonna move the wing up. It's alright, you know, and such. For paint, this dragon has like dominant colors, just black, red, and some such. Like the teeth are done pretty good, almost like crocodilian-like. You can definitely see they did a good job on the eyes as well, like always. Some paint and details on the saddle. And you can definitely see some stripes on its wings and neck. I am kind of bummed that it doesn't kind of at least stop right here, at least, you know. Because you only get to see the stripes on the neck. And the tan color kind of is in the underbelly, which surprisingly it does at least stop right there. Which at least it's good enough, you know. Now for articulation, there's nothing for the head, nothing for tail, which makes sense, but it is soft rubber, so you can like plastic, so you can like do all this and that. But I would not do that because it might break it. And move the wings up again because there's some articulation for the legs, just front, back, and front and back and such. As for the wings, like the Guanco and the zippleback, it's on a ball joint, so you can make it do this and that, raise it up and such. However, what makes this dragon more interesting is a unique articulation for the wings, because if you can actually make it, you can actually spread its wing out to make it bigger. Which, here how big his wings is now. Like, that's huge, you know? This might be the dragon that has the biggest wingspan, and when it comes to this toy line and such, you know? Yeah, that's the Monstrous Nightmare. This has to be one of my favorite figures at the moment. Well, besides the Deadly Natter, of course, since I'm a sucker for the dragon. But it's definitely a good one. But I am kind of bummed that this dragon doesn't have good paint as I expected, because I expect the stripes to at least stop at the base of the tail or something. And of course, this is the only way of getting this dragon which is in the Final Battle set, which is exclusive to Target. And if you're wondering how much that is, it's gonna cost you $50, which it is kind of expensive. Which is surprising because I expect the Red Death to be more expensive because how big that thing is, but who am I kidding? Okay, let's move it to the side. And we're gonna move on to the last dragon of this set, being Toothless, or the Night Fury. Everyone knows who this dragon is because it's practically everyone's favorite dragon when they get into the series. He was my favorite for a bit until I saw some other dragons that I like later on, you know. And the details on the dragon, it's pretty good. You can see some small scaling textures and such all over its body. And then to the body it has like smooth like skin, which is basically toy-wise. And you can definitely see some details on the saddle. The wings is pretty good. You can see all that leathery, like scaly skin for the wings. Until we get to its signature red fan. And it looks pretty good nonetheless. And I love that there's actually difference between, like, this one has more of these blunt ends, while this one not so much, but still having these membrane bone knuckle things. Yeah, it's pretty good. As for paint, it's nothing much for the paint. It's just basic black and such. You can definitely see some color on the paint. The eyes are done pretty well, except mine kind of looks like he's just staring at some dude that it just wants to be fed, like, give me your chicken wings, please. You know, we got the saddle's basically brown. And it kind of goes on a bit till the tip of the tail over here. So the fan will be red and having that signature skull piece that Tooth was known to have on its tail. As for articulation, surprising the head articulates. Yeah, which is kind of cool, but I like it nonetheless. Arms and legs can go front and back for both ends, so I'm not going to bother with that. Nothing for the tail, but it is bendy like most of the dragons here, except for the gonko, but I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that. Of course, just ball joint wings and such, spinning and such. However, my copy of the dragon has a little loose one on this end, but it's fine, I guess. And yeah. And we just move this there, and oh, gotta get the gonko. So that's the review of the How to Train Your Dragon action figures that I have now. And so far, I think this might be the best set I have. There are some few problems I have with some figures here and there, like paint, design choices, but I think it's fine, you know. I mean, I hope you at least gain some dragons, since this is a little apology to myself that I should have got my hands on some of the older dragons. Like from How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, or 3, or even that TV shit. Never mind, forget the 9 realms. But yeah, that is my review of this set. Hope you guys enjoy, and hit the like button if you like this video. If you want to see more of my reviews or episode-wise, just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you won't miss. And since we're on the episode part, of course, since the episode 1 has currently been out for a few months, I want to say thank you for the support on that one, like always. If you have any more ideas on future episodes, just write them in the comments down below, and I'll pick out one that I find more interesting in. So, see you next time, and put your ideas in the comments.